Hey, Coach, how you doing, man?
Good, how's it going?
Good, Coach. The offensive line struggled a bit again in run blocking. I'm curious, how do you assess the play of Will Hernandez, and are you contemplating any changes going forward?
Well, look, every week based on the players' practice and performance, we're looking to put the best players on the field. We spent the day reviewing the tape as a staff. We'll go through the rest of this week in terms of seeing how guys are implementing the plan we put ahead for the Rams, and we'll see the best guys put on the field are.
Coach, if I may follow, are you happy with this unit right now, the way they're run blocking?
Excuse me? I lost you
May I
there.
follow, Coach? Are you happy with this unit, the way they are run blocking right now?
Look, there's work we have to do and we have to improve as a team. Everyone's got to play better. Everyone's got to coach better. Look, I like the urgency they come to work with every day. There's things we have to improve on, and we got to get moving fast on that.
Thank you, Coach.
Thank you.
Don Levy.
Joe, I guess it's kind of along the similar lines. If you guys are going to struggle to run the ball without Saquon, are you concerned here that teams are going to just kind of tee off on Daniel until you guys can prove that you can run the ball better, whether that's the offensive line or the running backs or both?
We got to work to be a balanced team, Ryan, and that's balanced whether it's running and passing, balanced offense and defense, balanced with the kicking game, playing complementary football. So there's a lot of things right now we got to make sure that the yin and the yang, factor out for each other. But we've got to do a better job overall as a team, and we have to do a good job complementing each other on offense to help out the passing game and the running game.
And then an injury update, anything from Jabril or Andrew Thomas or anything we maybe didn't see coming out of the game?
Nothing significant, I'd say, with Andrew. You guys asked about him yesterday. I mean, he did finish the game. There was nothing significant to, really go over today with the trainers. Jabril, I don't have a timetable on him for anything. We're going to evaluate him day to day. We'll see where he is. He had that lower leg. They're going through a couple more things with a doctor this afternoon, but it looks like it, could go either way at this point right here.
Pat Leonard.
Hey, Joe, just want to know how you thought Daniel Jones played and, what you made of his turnovers, obviously 2 for 3 straight weeks. And then separately, curious about your feelings on the penalties, Holmes, Slayton, Carter. I know you guys are coaching these things, but how can you ensure that those are eliminated, they don't happen?
Yeah, that starts with fundamentals and technique and making sure we execute at the right time. And I think they were good calls, Pat. Look, you turn the tape on. Look, it was a hold. Call it what it is. It was a hold. We got to make sure we don't do that. The illegal contact part, that's something we stress all the time. Look, Darnay's a player we have a lot of confidence in. He's a talented guy. He's a young guy. He competes at a high level. One thing he really does, he learns from his mistakes. So obviously he's a guy that, I don't expect to see much of that far going forward. But, look, they made the calls. That's what the rules are. We got to play within the rules.
Canavan.
Hey, Joe. I'm kind of a big picture guy, and a lot of people would look at 0-3 and be discouraged. I kind of look at the NFC East and say, you're a game out of first place. How do you approach it?
Yeah, look, for us it's game by game, and right now I'm really just emphasizing on our team just weekly improvement, starting with fundamentals and execution. That's really it. We got to focus on what we're doing day by day to really take care of our own jobs and make sure that, we're improving as a unit and as a team. And then all the other things will start taking care of themselves.
But doesn't it make it easier if the guys see that there's something reachable in front of them?
There's 13 games left. It's the NFL. There's a lot of ball left to be played. I'll tell you right now, look, I've been on a lot of teams that have started off 5-0, 6-0, 7-0, 10-0, and I'm telling you right now, it's the same feeling in every building across the league right now. All you're thinking about is things you've got to improve on, things you have to work on. And, look, it's not sunshines and rainbows. To me, Mondays are always a day where it's a tough day on everybody because all you can think of as a coach are what you've got to get better at. It doesn't matter what the result of the game is and how well or how disappointing something may have been. You're just focused on what you've got to correct and fix and get it going fast. So to be honest with you, in terms of all that goes, does anything make it easier? In the NFL, not a lot of things get easier as the year goes. So we've got to improve to make sure that as the year goes, we can be competitive and put our team on the field with a chance to be successful.
Thank you.
Jordan.
Joe, how do you view the mental state of your team right now?
I think we're fine, Jordan. I think the emphasis has to be for our guys on moving forward, okay, and executing. And that's the biggest thing. We have to be better teachers and coaches, all right, and we have to execute better on the field for 60 minutes. And that's really it.
I know you say, you've been on teams where you're 5-0, 6-0, 10-0. These guys, a lot of them have been on teams that were 0-2, 1-6, roughs the other end of that. how much does that concern you that you kind of don't go down that rabbit hole with these guys?
Well, look, I'll tell you right now, those years we've started off with a lot of wins, we didn't always finish those years as successful as the years we started off pretty rough, Jordan. Sometimes early on, you really get a vision of what you are and your identity by how you have to correct your mistakes and what you have to learn from. We had a lot of years, we were really the most successful team in the world where it started off really, really rough. And there's a lot of times you look around the meeting rooms and the locker room halfway through the year, regardless of your record, and it's just doom and gloom. You've got to make sure you kind of bring it back to perspective and understand it's a day-by-day process as a team, and you're all you got. And you got to stand together as a team, and you've got to go ahead and make sure you guys move forward on a weekly basis to make improvements. It's the NFL. It's the most competitive league in all of sports in the world. It's at the highest absolute level. It's not supposed to be easy. What we're trying to do here isn't easy either. All right, but we're trying to keep it simple for our players that we can improve on a weekly basis and keep moving forward.
I'm Rob.
How does that work for you, Joe? It's been a long time since you've lost 3 in a row. How are you handling this?
Tom, I look at the film every week the same way regardless. Win, lose, whatever in between. I turn the tape on and I'm focused on what we have to correct going forward. Yesterday's gone. It's done. There's nothing we can do to bring back yesterday, or nothing we want to do to bring back yesterday. Our only focus right now is on the Rams. We're moving forward with that. And we've got a lot of things that we know McVay's on the other side, and he's watching. We got to make sure that we correct what's on the tape because they're watching the same tape right now.
And then I wanted to ask you, when you have a game wrecker on the outside, there are things you can do with chipping and double teams and things like that. With the Rams, their game wrecker is right in the middle.
Oh, yeah.
How do you kind of scheme to give Nick as much help as he can give him against Aaron Donald?
Yeah, I'll tell you what, Aaron Donald's one of the best players in the NFL, and he's definitely a force. And you're right. A lot of times you see those, guys that are game wreckers on the edge, and they've got their share of them out there as well. But with Aaron in the middle, it makes you be a little more creative in terms of how you protect and how you use some different, tools in your toolbox to make sure your guys don't always get isolated up on him. So he's definitely a guy that lives for that one-on-one matchup. He's very competitive. He's a high-motor guy. He's explosive as can be, and he can really ruin the game inside out if you don't give some help to whoever's on him.
Art.
Hey, Joe, I don't think we've asked you about David Mayo since he went on IR, but obviously now with 3 games down, there's an opportunity to possibly bring him back. I'm just curious if you could provide an update as to where he is, and do you expect to bring him to practice this week with a chance to be activated?
Actually, we're going to make that decision probably sometime tomorrow, Art. We'll kind of look and see where that goes. He's with the trainers. I know he's been working hard. I see him around the building. I don't get a lot of time with him on the grass. But they say he's, working his butt off every day and improving on a daily basis. We got to look and see where he's at. For us, it's in his best interest to make sure that when we start that 21-day clock, that he's at a position that he's not going to have any setbacks that would take him past that 21-day clock. So I want to make sure we do the right thing by him by not rushing him back before he's fully ready, and that would keep him possibly off the field for the entire year. So I want to make sure we go ahead and do right by him.
I know obviously the IR changed in terms of timetable. Has he been able to be in meetings, position meetings, team meetings, or is he just strictly with the trainers?
No, he's with us in all the meetings, Art. So that's been great in terms of him staying up to date on the game plans, the terminology, getting mentally into the scouting reports. That's all been really good. But David's, him, Zay, a bunch of other guys, they've all been very present in the meetings and involved with the team. Just once we hit the grass, they're on their own separate program.
Thanks, Joe.
We'll take 3 more. Ed, Patty, and Matt. Ed.
Joe, I just wanted to ask you, you keep talking about, areas you need to improve in. And one of the areas you guys have really struggled in defensively is getting off the field on 3rd down. What are you seeing on 3rd down? You seem to be doing okay on 1st and 2nd down, but you're just not making those plays on 3rd down.
It's never one thing, Ed. So we're going through that right now as a staff, making sure we find the common thread and identify that. There's been a lot of times we've been, a step away here, a step away there, but that to me is really a symptom of what are we doing on the front end of the play and make sure we start in the right position, that we can finish in the right position. But we definitely have to make more plays on 3rd down to get off the field, to shorten the drives for the opponents right there and give our offense a chance to get on the field and get some points.
Patty.
Hey, Coach, how you doing?
Good, Patty. How you doing?
Good. Just a general question here. You mentioned that the team has to play better, you have to coach better. I'm just wondering, though, at what point do you say to yourself, look, this just isn't happening. We have to, consider a change. Is there a cutoff point for you, or what tells you that, you have to go to plan B, so to speak?
I'm not exactly sure what you're clarifying as plan B. I would say this, I say we consider change on a daily basis, but that's change within what we're doing schematically, change within what we're doing conceptually within the game plan, change in how we're approaching something as a coaching staff, or changing how we're using somebody on our roster personnel-wise. So we're always looking for change to be evolved. We're not looking to go ahead and be hard-headed and just keep forcing the same thing in the same position. We're looking on a daily basis of what we can do different to always improve.
Thanks, Coach.
Last question here, Lombardo.
Joe, I'm really curious here. When you look at the amount of turnovers that Daniel's had, when does this become kind of a 5-alarm fire for you guys? And what went wrong on that pitch play there with him?
We just have to have better execution on that play. We thought it was a good thing to have in a game plan. Obviously, we didn't carry it through the way we needed to. These aren't things that we're going to go ahead and completely abort going forward. We'll look and see and make sure we execute it going better. But it's never one person. There's multiple guys got to execute better. So we got to get that corrected.
Do you have to talk to him with the interception? It seemed like he was kind of locked in on Evan the whole time before he threw it. Is that something you need to go back on the tape and kind of drill into him that we can't telegraph throws? Or it just seems like this is an ongoing issue with him?
Look, we work with him on a daily basis, obviously, every day. I mean, we're not going to, leave anything to chance with that position especially. But, look, he's a guy that works extremely hard. It's very important to him. Everyone here has to coach better. Everyone has to play better. We got to raise our level of execution, and we're committed to doing that as a team.